Well, next we have a red-tailed hawk to show you, and they're probably one of the most abundant of all the larger hawks found in this area, and probably one of the most common types of hawks found in the United States today. And they do most of their hunting from altitudes of 500 to 1,000 feet, and that's where Gauguin is right about now, about 500 feet directly above us. And from that altitude, they do most of their flying and hunting during the day, and we're going to see if we can call Gauguin straight on down into the theater. But first, what I'll do is I'll move off stage just a little bit. That's my signal to him to come directly over the stage. And we'll see if he's ready to come straight on down. Okay, here he comes, straight on down, right in the front door. This is Gauguin, our red-tailed hawk.
The eagle has long been thought of as being the most magnificent of all the birds of prey. We have an eagle we'd like to show you today. She's the property of the federal government, as are all birds of prey. Now we have her here on a rehabilitation program. We're preparing her to be released back into the wild. When she was young, she was taken from her nest by some people who shouldn't have done so. The Fish and Wildlife Service later confiscated her from those people, turned her over to us to use in our shows and to rehabilitate. Well, we'd like to bring her out now so you can have a closer look and perhaps take some photographs of a very beautiful bird. Her name is Baby, and she's a golden eagle. Golden eagles get their names from the gold-colored feathers in the back of their necks. She weighs 9 pounds and has a wingspread of over 6 feet. By rehabilitate, we mean to teach Baby some of the things that she would have learned had she had the chance to remain in the wild, such as how to fly, how to utilize the lifts and thermals available to her in order for her to gain altitude that is so necessary for a bird of her size if she's to fly any distance at all, how to hunt, how to find food, where to find it, how to catch it, and even what to do with it once she has caught it. Now, eagles are very beneficial in the wild, as are all birds of prey. They eat many rodents, such as rats, mice, squirrels, gophers, and even snakes. And they're not above eating carrion, so they help keep the wild clean for us in that respect. And that was Baby, our golden eagle. Thank you. Now, researchers have found that of all the birds of prey born each year, 70% of them won't even live to be 1 year old. This is partially due to loss of habitat, man encroaching on the birds' territories, partially due to natural causes, and partially due to the fact that so many of these birds are shot each year by someone who just wants to take a closer look at that particular bird, or by someone who just wants something to shoot at. Well, we're hoping by bringing these birds before you today and showing you how truly magnificent they are and telling you how beneficial they can be, you'll gain a little better knowledge and thus a greater respect for all the birds around you. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, next is the largest bird that we have here at the bird show, and his name is Clarence. Now, Clarence is a cinereous vulture from Southeast Asia, and Clarence should be coming out that gate all the way over there on your right any second now. And there he is. All the way over here, Clarence. There we go. Now, many people believe that a bird, and a bird of prey in particular, is not capable of showing us any sort of affection whatsoever. Well, I tell you, this certainly is different with old Clarence here. He shows us all quite a bit of affection, and this is rather unusual for a cinereous vulture, as they normally mate for life in the wild. Now, Clarence stands 3 feet tall, has a 9-foot wingspan, 23 pounds, and he's 20 years old. You want to hop up on this stump for us, Clarence? There we go, right up on top. Now, cinereous vultures are found nesting in the Himalayan mountains between 4,000 and 12,000 feet. And they're one of the only vultures in the world that have these feathers folding up over the backs of their necks like this and running down their legs. And scientists believe this is a specialized adaptation to protect them from the cold at the altitudes where they live. You want to hop up here again for us, Clarence? Right up here on top. Well, on the stump. The only stump out here. Everything you see Clarence do down here is quite natural for him to do. However, he has learned one thing at the bird show. We point to the stump over there, that stump, and he rushes over there with a few stops, rushes over there and jumps up on top. Everything else is natural for Clarence. The way he skips when he runs, and even the way that Clarence here walks like Groucho Marx. Well, that's all very natural for Clarence. Now, what I'd like to show you now with Clarence is what a tremendous catch he can be. I'm going to have him wait right here on the stump and walk over to the center of the stage and toss this piece of meat up in the air for him to catch. If you can stay up there. Okay, now watch what a great catch is because this happens real quick. So wait right there, Clarence, and here we go. The stump, Clarence. Let's start from the stump. Okay. Okay, Clarence, here we go. Ready for the big catch? Well, catch it, Clarence. What a catch! And that's Clarence Arsenarius Vulture.
We would like to take just a moment to say that we do discourage the keeping of birds of prey, as well as crows and ravens as pets. They are the property of the government, and they do require special licenses and permits in order to keep them. They also... Why, thank you. Thank you very much. They also require a great deal of time and specialized attention every day. Now we have the birds on a temporary basis here at the park to use in our shows to better inform you as to how beneficial they can be if they're allowed to remain in the wild. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have another red-tailed hawk to show you. And red-tailed hawks get their names from the brick red color on the tail, which they get after 1 year, after they're 1 year old. And they when they molt into their adult plumage, their tail turns red. Now they do most of their hunting from altitudes of 500 to 1,000 feet. And when they spot a snake or a mouse, their natural prey on the ground below, so they go into a stoop or a dive in order to catch it. And they have been clocked at speeds of up to 125 miles per hour in that dive. We'd like to show you Ebony now, and we're going to have her do the same thing Gauguin did, but she's a little bit quicker. And we're not quite sure how fast she will be going today, but we're pretty sure that every once in a while, when she reaches her top speed, she gets pretty close to that 100-mile-an-hour mark. And what she'll do is step out of the balloon and circle around for just a very brief time, and then we'll call her straight on down into the theater. So for now, keep your eye on Ebony, because here she comes out of the cage right about now. And there she is directly over the top of the theater, and I'll see if she wants to come straight on down. And here she comes straight on down. This is Ebony, our red-tailed hawk.
Ladies and gentlemen, how will we can today? Take a break and here inside. We'd like to thank you very much for being our guest here at the Bird Show. We've enjoyed having you. Do have a nice afternoon here at the San Diego Wild Animals.